What's up everyone, welcome back to another Spyro Realm Beyond video. I know it has been quite a long time, it has been 2 weeks. I haven't speculated about Spyro Realm Beyond for about 2 weeks. And today I'm back and I'm going to upload tons of videos about the game. Discussion videos, simple videos, and just everything about Spyro Realm Beyond that you need to know and that we need to speculate until I'll hopefully play the game at launch. So, today we have the biggest questions yet for Spyro Realm Beyond since the reveal till now. We haven't gotten any new informations yet about a possible upcoming pre-order trailer, but I've said that it could be at Xbox Games Showcase in a short that I made. So, if you want to know it, check it out. But there hasn't been any new informations except for like some small things from the story, the things that we found in the trailer, a short 7-second gameplay. The developers speculated about the game, just like it wasn't deep at all. It was just some small informations that we got, such as free flight and more. So, is it going to be a free flight game? This is the first question. So the first question says, is the game how is free flight going to work? Is the game going to be free flight? Yes. But it's not going to be a flight simulator, and I've talked about that when we got some informations from the developer after having an interview which I uploaded. So let's start. How will free flight work? Toys for Bob revealed that Spyro will have an open dragon flight, so it will have open dragon flight mechanics. Fans wonder whether flight will be strictly limited by thermal currents, campfires as hinted in developer interviews, or if it risks trivializing traditional platforming collectibles and how do I reach the island? That island traversal puzzles. So, how's it going to work? Free flight? Well, it will be kinda trying to kill enemies, and that you can fly up to heights and dive down with Spyro, as we already saw in the art video which I speculated about, that you can dive with Spyro and move up. So you can move up with tall heights and then dive down. But what we saw in the trailer actually is kind of is like a hint for that. We have seen Spyro moving and using his fire breath to glow up the the campfire, and using the campfire it pushed him up to maximum heights, and here Spyro was able to shoot birds from high areas. So that could mean that this could be the idea of free flight, moving up and down, left and right. And at the same time, the developers said that it's not fully a free flight. You can move on ground and on air, which is an absolutely amazing idea, exploring worlds in air and on land. Imagine if they added underwater ability just like what we got in Spyro Year of the Dragon. I'm not sure if it was in Spyro or it was Rage, I forgot, but that is just amazing to be able to play while flying and also collect gems, as we have already seen at the trailer, which is already confirmed. So it's going to be such an amazing game, and we're going to love that, the free flight idea of the game. So that's just what I wanted to tell you about free flight. Next, is it going to be an open world? I've speculated about this, and I've made a video before Spyro Realm Beyond was even revealed, with quite a long time. I guess it was at the end of 2024, and I made a video, or no, it was I guess in 2025, and I said, is Spyro 4 going to be an open world? I've speculated about this and why it could possibly be an open world. But here it is called Spyro: A Realm Beyond, and it's totally a free flight. We've seen Spyro moving through a specific place in the gameplay, but could it be an open world? Well, the trailer showcased expansive, wide open environments to accommodate flight. Players are curious if the game adopts an open world design similar to Sonic Frontiers or sticks to large segmented hub worlds and classic level portals. So we still don't know about that, and we'll speculate about lots of information. Was it going to be an open world? Well, maybe yes and maybe no. So it could be yes because we've seen quite a huge world at the trailer. It is a big world, and we still don't know if it's going to be an open world or not. But maybe yes, as I said, because it could be one huge world, and maybe not. Maybe it's just some levels, but there is a hint that it could be an open world. The hint is that Spyro is actually trapped in a realm, so this realm could be an open world, and which is quite high in probability than seeing levels just like previous Spyro games, or just like Crash Bandicoot games, where you can actually see an open world here. So it's probably yes. I've forgotten to tell you about that idea. So for the last time, is Spyro Realm Beyond going to be an open world? Probably yes, but still maybe no. Probably yes, because already Spyro is trapped in a realm. This realm could be one open world, and Spyro is trapped in it and has to escape from this open world and return back to the normal world. However, the other one is it could be traveling to different levels, just like the idea of the previous Spyro games, but this game is quite different than Spyro Ignited Trilogy. So, next question, which we have already which I already talked about in the last video. Where is Sparks? You can check the video, but it seems like not. The reason I'm saying that is that Sparks could be trapped in the other realm, and Spyro is in this specific realm. And the next reason is that Sparks is only with small dragons, and Spyro is now an adult and he used to be a small dragon. So that could tell us that Sparks could not be here, because Sparks was noticeably absent or hidden in early promotional footage. Fans really want to know if Sparks is going to return in his classic role, or if a new health tracking mechanism or companion is replacing him. So I would actually be pretty happy if we saw Spyro, but it seems like not. But you can check the last video if you want. The next important question: is it called Spyro 4? Well, it isn't called Spyro 4. And I've asked myself a question. So this is actually not a sequel to what we saw in Spyro Ignited Trilogy, but it serves a new main entry following the Ignited Trilogy. So why isn't it called Spyro 4? Well, the developers answered that, and they simply said that Spyro: A Realm Beyond's idea is different than what we saw in Spyro Ignited Trilogy. You can here use free flight and fly, and you have new abilities, and it is completely different than the Reignited trilogy. However, for Crash Bandicoot, it was a sequel because it's the continuation of the story that we had in the Insane trilogy. So that was actually a big sequel, a fourth game that we had, which was amazing, newer design, fresher design, but the importance is that it actually has a specific story. And we were going to see Crash 5, but unfortunately it got cancelled, and we've heard that in 2024, which made me so sad and lose hope for Crash Bandicoot. But here we have a 30th anniversary, and we have some hints towards Crash Team Racing 2, which I would be even happier to see. But there is a video coming soon about both Crash 5 and CTR 2. So the game is not called Spyro 4 at all, because it branches into a completely fresh new direction. It's just completely different, and it shouldn't be called Spyro 4, but you can call it Spyro 4 because it's the newest, is the only new game after the Reignited trilogy. So, another question, which is actually a pretty important question: will classic characters and Cinder appear? Well, it remains unclear if classic allies like Elora, Hunter, Professor Moneybags could appear. But for Cinder, we wish that he actually appears, and we've seen some mods used in Spyro Reignited Trilogy on PC where you can actually play with Cinder with a fresh new design. But could Cinder be actually trapped in... was actually Cinder trapped in this realm, and maybe Cinder comes with Spyro in this realm? Maybe they're both trapped together and Cinder helps Spyro? Or could it be a fresh new idea that you can play with both characters? Now this wouldn't be good, honestly, to switch between Spyro and Cinder. It's just Spyro, you know. But at least we can see Cinder in some levels and use Cinder as an extra character, just like what we saw with Bentley and some other characters that we played with in some extra levels. And about Elora, Hunter, Professor, and Moneybags, they're probably not coming. They're probably... I just don't know, but are they going to actually appear? Well, we don't know currently because there are no hints yet for that. And the developers haven't even speculated about that, and we haven't seen any single hint or tease from the trailer or any other thing that we had. So I think they're probably not coming because this is a new game and we might see new characters because Spyro makes new allies. So it remains unclear if the classic allies would return with the new allies that we will see in the brand new game. So Toy Schwab already teased a new evil, and some tiny informations were actually revealed about the story. So, the next question: how demanding will the completionist content be? The Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time completionist content was super hard. Getting to 106% is absolutely crazy, a nightmare, and even 100%. But not only that I got 106% instead of 100%, I defeated all the developer times in Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time. Imagine I took the whole 3 to 4 months holiday last year just to complete Crash 4. The game was so hard, and at the beginning of it, I used to play Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. So I took, at the end of June, I took July, August, September, and I completed it in October. So the game is so hard and super difficult, but we actually have a hint to the answer of this question. Toys for Bob actually speculated about that and said that they don't want it to be as difficult as Crash 4 or as quite simple and easy as Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Let me be honest with you, Spyro Reignited Trilogy is pretty easy, and I'm still trying to complete the platinum for the game, and the game actually is so easy, honestly, in my opinion. However, Crash 4, this is a nightmare, man. However, Spyro Realm Beyond, just in the middle. So, we expect it to be like a 6 out of 10 difficulty, 7 out of 10, maybe like a 7 out of 10 difficulty. So, not like Crash 4, which was like 9 out of 10 difficulty. It was crazy. So, how demanding will the completionist content be? It'll be like in the middle, it'll be quite normal. Or the Reignited Trilogy was quite normal, not that easy, but the Spyro Realm Beyond could be between hard and normal. That's what I think. The last question, will Stuart Copeland compose the soundtrack? Well, music is fundamental to Spyro's identity. Fans are waiting for confirmation on whether original series composer Stuart Copeland will return to write the score, or if a new composer will take the lead. So for this question, we don't specifically have an answer, but at least we have Tom Kenny for the sound of Spyro. So that's all for today's video. Those are the biggest questions yet for Spyro Realm Beyond, and we still have more details to speculate about. The pre-order trailer could be at Xbox Gamescom or at Xbox Game Pass. Sorry, at the Game Awards. Sorry, guys. Okay, that's all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, and goodbye.